On the day when their leaders are turned back into the fire, they say, "Oh, would that we had obeyed Allah and obeyed the messenger." And they say, "Our Lord, we only obeyed our leaders and our great men, so they led us astray from the path. Our Lord, give them a double chastisement and curse them with a great curse. O you who believe, be not like those who maligned Moses, but Allah cleared him of what they said, and he was worthy of regard with Allah." Now, these verses come from a surah titled The Allies, Surah 33 of the Holy Quran, which addresses the messenger's domestic life, in this case, the Messiah's domestic life. Now, a cursory analysis of these verses indicates that those who obeyed their leaders and great men were in disobedience to Allah and his messenger, and consequently led astray from the right path. So this meant that they had been on the right path. Therefore, these verses involve the deviation of those who claim to believe in Allah and his messenger. This is why Allah in verse 69 warns the believers directly to not malign the messenger as those who claim to believe in Moses malign him. Now, the Moses here refers to the prophetic Moses and not the historical Moses. The Bible story of Moses, narrative of Moses, is not for the one who raised the Caucasian people up from the caves and hillsides of Europe. That's the historical Moses. The prophetic Moses refers to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was raised as the redeemer of the real children of Israel, the black people of the Western Hemisphere. And we know that according to history, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was maligned, especially after his departure in 1975 to be with Master Fard Muhammad. He was maligned most of all by those who had previously claimed to believe in him, and that history is well documented. Clearly, those who maligned the Honorable Elijah Muhammad were serving their leaders and great men. Now, what made them perceive such persons as leaders and great men? And we'll come back to that question later in this message. Well, in a previous message, I explained, according to the Bible, how this prophetic Moses was maligned because of his domestic life. This was one reason. And it states in the book of Numbers, "And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman." So they spoke against Moses for that. In that same message, previous message, I also explained how Miriam and Aaron represented the body of men and women, respectively, or women and men respectively, who followed Moses. Excuse me. They thought that they had authority to judge Moses, according to the narrative. So Allah intervened and punished them. I think Miriam got the brunt of the punishment. Therefore, in verse 69, Allah is warning those who claim to believe in the Messiah, since he comes after the function of Moses. And this is, of course, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. So Allah is warning us against being lured and urged into disobeying Allah and his Messiah under the excuse of following those whom they perceive or we perceive to be leaders and great men.